Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. Coming up on today's show, we continue with our series of Meet the Pro. And today, that pro is the Philadelphia section of the PGA's Pro of the Year. His name is Mike Wood. He's up in the Lehigh Valley at beautiful Saucon Valley Country Club. What a challenge. 3 18-hole championship courses, a large staff, and a number of USGA events. You're going to enjoy meeting Mike Wood. You know, golf course superintendents have been facing unexpected tree removal with damage caused by the ash borer. We'll hear from an arborist at Concord Country Club. And the teed-off panel shares thoughts on changes that the PGA Tour is making for next year regarding their events. Their reaction to LIV, they're going to talk about it. And speaking of the teed-off panel, who among them had the best prediction for the outcome of the Masters? We have the receipts, and we'll be rolling the tape. So stay with us. A big show coming up next here on Inside Golf. The 26th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. Your next golf getaway is in Valley Forge in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Visit valleyforge.org. By the First Tee Greater Philadelphia. The First Tee not only helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit firstteephiladelphia.org. By the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, a community of professionals enhancing the game of golf since 1925. Make sure you thank your golf course superintendent today. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAF, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, a digital publication and private business network. Read the current issue free at jerseymanmagazine.com. By the Haverford Trust Company. For life's must-haves, there's Haverford. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia PGA section, the experts in the game and business of golf.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
The Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board is holding its first ever Freedom from Hunger Drive in the spring. We normally hold it in the fall and we'll still be doing that, but we want to help the soup kitchens and food pantries all across Montgomery County recover from exhausting their resources over the holidays and get ready for the summertime when kids won't be in school for free and reduced meals. No one should have to wake up with the burden of worrying if they'll have enough to eat that day. So help us fight hunger together at valleyforge.org/hunger. For the Tourism Board, I'm Rachel Riley.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. Every golf pro has a story, and most of them are fascinating. Consider Mike Wood. He's from Rhode Island. He began his golf career at Saucon Valley as an intern. Now, he's the head professional. In fact, this year he's being honored as the Philadelphia Section PGA Professional of the Year. Now, Meet the Pro, brought to you by Haverford Trust, where quality investing is a hole-in-one for our clients.
You know, I was probably 7, 8 years old at that point. Really just tagging along with my dad. You know, he played golf once a week. He actually cut down a little driver, wooden-headed driver, and put some electrical tape on the end. And I just remember he'd go out and play. I'd just follow him around and hit the ball until he said, you know, let's go to the next hole type thing. So he really got me into the game and really started getting into it high school time frame and really started playing a lot and started working, you know, at a golf course in high school. So that really kind of hooked me into where I am now. I caddied at Newport Country Club a little bit and then got a job at Wanamatanami Golf and Country Club in the bag room, which I thought was the best thing because I was, I think, 15 years old, didn't have my driver's license yet, and they let me drive golf carts around and got paid for it, so it's pretty good deal. I worked at the golf course all through high school. At some point, I think sophomore or junior year, found out about golf management programs and that you can make a career out of it. So started looking at options. There weren't many options back then. There's Penn State, Ferris State, I think New Mexico State and Methodist at that point. And I wanted to go somewhere where I could play golf year round. And growing up in Rhode Island, New Mexico seemed really far away. So I settled on Methodist, and program there was great. Jerry Hogg, who's still there to this day, founded the program. He's amazing. I did a couple local internships and then did my last internship actually here at Saucon Valley, and really kind of never left. So love it here. It's been great. It's a great place. They've always treated me well here. I've worked for two great golf professionals, Gene Matari, who's kind of a legend in this section, or probably in the whole country. And then also Charlie Schuyler, to learning from both of them, and just everything here that Saucon Valley brings. The membership's amazing, the facilities. It's just, I feel like I've never not been learning, in my 20 plus years here. To be able to have as many professionals as we have, in many various areas. We have a director of instruction, we have a full-time club fitter, and then obviously our golf professionals. So we all learn from each other, we all have fun, but it's great to have a team like that to be able to work with and learn from, because they might do a better job than what I had in mind, right? You want to let people use their creativity and their own ideas. Obviously keeping an eye on them, making sure everything's going well, but we've actually come up with a lot of great ideas just because of that, and people coming up with different things and looking at it from a different perspective than I might or somebody else might. I don't have my own office, we share an office, we have 4 desks in there. We're constantly kind of bouncing ideas off each other or helping each other out. So it's really a kind of open communication throughout the day and throughout the year, which is great. We have 3 18-hole golf courses and a 6-hole short course, which is amazing. So 60 holes of golf can be a blessing and a curse, right? You're trying to run your premier event for the year, and you still have an 18-hole golf course, open and busy, and people want to get out there. So having the larger staff helps in that respect, but it's also can stretch a little thin. But the beauty is, with golf, where it's at right now, with how popular it is, we're continuing to grow our membership. We're able to welcome in new people and really, see the facility being used to its full extent, which is great to see. The club has a relationship, goes back to the 1951 U.S. Amateur here. So this past season we had the U.S. Senior Open, and something new they did, it was called the 19th hole, which was an elevated ticket. First time USGA had ever done something like this. We had a putting experience, we had simulators in there, they had food trucks, lawn games, so it was really fun and unique. So it was really cool to be a part of that and kind of be the first club that did something like that, something unique. But all the events have been, I was here for the 2009 U.S. Women's Open and the 2014 U.S. Mid-Amateur. And they're all unique. The Senior Open is obviously second largest event that the USGA hosts besides the U.S. Open as far as infrastructure and everything. Women's Open was close behind that. And then you go into U.S. Mid-Amateur where it's, people are walking down the fairway with the players, and you got some of the best amateur players in the country. And it was really neat to, there's no real ropes and things like that. So they're all been unique and fun in their own respect. It's just fun to really kind of open up the club and, show off a little bit or show what we have here. The number of people I heard just walking around like, wow, this place is amazing, I'd love to come here. So really just kind of exposing people, to the club who didn't even know it really was here, what it entailed. That was really neat to see. Whenever I try to describe the club to somebody who hasn't been here, I feel like I do a nice job of it, but you don't really get the full perspective of what Saucon Valley is until you're actually on the property. I got to play with Jim Furyk here in May. He was a defending, Senior Open champion, and he came up for the media day. And it was just me and him, and our caddies out there, and it was a lot of fun. He was a great guy. And to be able to kind of go around the course with him and talk about the golf course, and kind of show him a few things was really cool. And it really, he was a great guy, and it really, after about the second or third hole, it was like I was playing golf with one of my buddies. It was just fun, relaxed. So that was really neat. That was really cool. I was kind of shocked when I got the phone call. I applied because I was nominated, but not really thinking I would get it. There's just been so many great professionals that have won that award, and lucky enough to know a lot of them. So it's really an honor and privilege to be part of that. Yeah, my name's on that award, but it really is, the team here that we've built, running a major championship, and then jumping right back in the next week into our normal summer. They did a great job, and it was unbelievable. So yeah, professionally, those people were great. And then, my wife is amazing. We have 3 young girls, and what she does with them and keeps our house intact and everything while I'm here is unbelievable, and she's amazing. But I still almost don't believe it. It's been a few months since I found out, but it's really neat, and obviously one of the things I'm most proud of in my professional career.
So congratulations to Mike Wood. What a story, from intern to pro to the Philadelphia section Professional of the Year. Congratulations, Mike. Stay with us. Coming up here on Inside Golf, the importance of maintaining good tree health on our golf courses. And we'll be learning more on that from an expert.
Every other year treatment, as you can see.
The Golf Association of Philadelphia. Founded in 1897, GAP is the nation's oldest regional or state golf association. We serve amateur golf in Eastern PA, Southern New Jersey, and all of Delaware. GAP welcomes all golfers, junior or senior, male or female, public or private. Join the Golf Association of Philadelphia today. Our mission is always to preserve, protect, and promote the great game of golf. Before you tee it up, look us up. Visit gapgolf.org to find out more.
For over 2 decades, First Tee has created experiences that build character. We believe every kid deserves to feel supported, safe to try something new, and to be prepared for what comes next. We develop their swing, but more importantly, their inner strength. Because we know what's inside doesn't just count, it changes the game. Come join us at First Tee.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. There are times when removing trees at a golf course is necessary. It's part of a maybe overall master plan. But good tree maintenance is especially important when it comes to handling the ash tree borer.
Hello, we are here at Concord Country Club. My name is Mike Kachurak. I am a certified arborist with Shriner Tree Care, and we're going to do a little discussion on the ash tree, specifically the emerald ash borer insect. So the emerald ash borer is an invasive insect. It came over from Asia. It was first recognized in the United States in Michigan in the early 2000s. It most likely came over from a woodpacking material. And in this immediate area, southeastern PA, we first identified it in 2016. And since then, it has been a pretty bad infestation on ash trees and really hurt the ash tree population. So the insect is a boring insect. It makes serpentine type paths throughout the cambium of the tree. The cambium is the living cells that take water and nutrients up and down. So eventually the insect girdles the tree, and that's when the tree becomes very brittle. It can become hazardous, specifically the upward canopy, in little as 6 or 7 to 12 months. There is a treatment for it, which is fairly successful if you catch it in time. However, any untreated ash tree at this time, since the insect has been here for quite some time, it's not going to be successful, and ultimately the tree needs to be removed. So this specific ash tree here at Concord does have a history of treatments. It's been treated 3 times over the past 6 years. It's an every other year treatment. As you can see, the canopy is fairly good. The treatment is just prolonging it. We've done some deadwood pruning as well, just to keep it safe for the members and staff here. And overall, the tree is in pretty good condition due to its history of treatments. In closing, tree maintenance is very important, specifically to golf courses. We recommend an annual assessment by a certified arborist like myself at Shriner Tree Care. Every golf course and homeowner should have a tree assessment and tree management plan to protect their canopies and landscape.
Some pretty good advice there from Mike. All right, coming up next, our teed off panel. This time talking about some changes in the schedule of the PGA Tour. Is it another reaction to LIV? Our panel will discuss it next here on Inside Golf. We can't deliver the big names.
We can't deliver the big names.
And that's a big problem, don't you
It's a
think, Harry?
huge problem.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues with our teed-off panel. Once again, we're back here at Lulu Country Club in Upper Dublin. And the panel today has back with us for his umpteenth appearance, Mr. Joe Logan from myphillygolf.com. Not quite as many appearances as Joe, but Harry Mays has been around the block here a few times. Harry, co-host of the golf podcast, Swing It and Ding It, and our host all the time we're here at Lulu, Mr. Jim Sullivan.
Thanks, Harry.
Next year, Joe, the PGA Tour is going to have something called designated events, 70 to 80 golfers a week, 8 to 10 events perhaps, no cut. And, you know, I'm not even sure how somebody qualifies. I think it's going to be the top 50 from the previous year's FedEx standings will be automatic qualifiers, and then it'll be a rollover thing for the remaining 25 or whatever it is. Now, a normal PGA Tour event has 150, 160 golfers. So this is going to be half of that, okay?
Right.
And the no-cut thing, you know, a lot of people, members of the tour, kind of like laugh when LIV decided to go no-cut, and all of a sudden, that's one of the things that they've copied from LIV, the no-cut, plus a lot of money. So, your reaction when you heard about this?
I chuckled like a lot of people because it's such obviously a reaction to LIV. You know, it's a good idea that they've now liberated and claimed as their own. I mean, a lot of the guys who are not part of the group that'll be playing in the designated events don't like this. But you know, so what? And I know a lot of tournament organizers and tournament directors are worried that if they're not in a designated event, they got to go to their sponsor and say, I realize you're paying $7 million a year, but you know,
we can't deliver the big names.
We can't deliver the big names.
And that's a big problem, don't you
It's
think,
a
Harry?
huge problem. You know, we'll see how that plays out, but I think it's generally not a bad idea. The guys who can't quite make it will suffer. The rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer.
Yeah, and that's not the history of the PGA Tour, Harry. I mean,
Right.
it was, you know, it was by merit, not necessarily by, well, what have you done, you know, real lately, not a year ago.
As a fan of, you know, watching this stuff each week, I'm not a fan of the no-cut events. I like the drama of a Friday afternoon. You know, is a guy going to get to 1 under and make the cut or not? But I get why they do it, because of the broadcast partners and the sponsors. They want to make sure that these big guns are there on Saturday and Sunday. So I understand it. I'm not a fan of reducing the mandatory starts, too, for these guys. I like the fact this year they got to play, 16 or so events, and then next year that could be cut in half or thereabouts. I've got a lot more questions than I do answers, but I'm not really a fan. I think it's an overreaction to what I consider kind of a garbage product in LIV golf. I've watched it. To me, it's not any good.
Bit of a sideshow.
Yeah, it's definitely got a different vibe to
Yeah.
the whole event. Sully, now you played how many tour events when you were younger?
4.
4. Did you make any cuts? Close?
Played 4 on the lower tour, made a couple cuts there, and missed by a shot or two a few
On the
times.
PGA
of the
Tour?
4 PGA Tour
Did
events.
it come down to the last couple holes, or?
Well,
I mean, we're
I was
talking about
I was a shot
pressure.
or two outside and trying to make birdies to get there. So it did come down to the last couple holes, but not, in and then make a double bogey or something. So I was close, but
So if you were asked today, do you prefer
wish they were no-cut
a
events,
no
if that's
cut,
where you're
or do you prefer a no cut? Obviously.
I do 22 years
Now
ago
you
when I
do.
was trying, yes. I agree with Harry that I think eliminating the cut takes away a big part of the appeal. There's probably not a lot of television coverage Friday afternoon, but if they focused on the 5 or 6 guys on the course that are within a couple shots, I think they'd get better. From the golf junkies, they'd get better, some better numbers. I think the reaction to the LIV is natural. Maybe it's not ideal. This stuff will work itself out over a few years. They had to load up the money to find a way to get the top 20 or 30 guys that are still here playing together as often as possible. whatever you have to do that is fine. Now, the one thing I don't think this reduces, I don't think the guys can only play in the 8 or 10 designated events. I think they'll still have to play 15 or 16 total.
Okay.
So one reaction I heard is that it'll strengthen some of those other events in that, you know, you'll have these guys concentrated here and they're still going to be finding 8 or 10 other events to play in. I don't really know how that shakes out, but I'm a fan of the cut from an entertainment perspective. I think it matters. So if 80 becomes 50 for the weekend, that's a good thing for Friday afternoon.
The interesting question is, like, this time a year ago, there was no talk about any of this, okay? Liv hadn't even started yet, really. And then they call it the Delaware meeting, that changed things initially on the tour. And that lasted until the beginning of this year's season, or not even the beginning, but you know, after they had started, they had another meeting for tour players. And it looks like they're making this up as they go.
I think they are.
Right?
They're reacting.
You know, and I don't know if that's going to help the future with Jay Monahan or not as the commissioner. And who is he getting his input from? 4 or 5 guys or even less?
Tiger and Rory. For 2.
Yeah.
You know, the business of the tournaments, if you take the 8 designated tournaments, then the 4 majors, that's 12, then the 3 World Golf Championship tournaments, and then everybody's going to play in the Bay Hill, Palmer, Memorial, Nicholas, and
Genesis.
Yes, they're all going to play in those. So then you're getting up around the big guys, 18, 19 events right there. So.
And a lot of these, you know, tournaments that have been around for a long time, like the Colonial, I think is not going to be considered, at least next year, a dedicated event, an elevated event. And the sponsors of that, they've already lost some keys. The Honda is out at the event down at PGA National. I think that's where the biggest pushback is going to come from. Like, hey, you know, we were there when you needed this. Now all of a sudden, you leave us by the road. It's like getting turned down for the senior prom, you know?
One of the ways they're going to address that, from what I've seen, is that for the Tour Championship, they're going to raise that number, not the top 70 or whatever, to like the top 50. So what that means is that people who aren't playing in designated events, you've got to play in more non-designated events to make sure you don't fall out of the top 50.
That's tough.
Yeah. You know,
yeah. More events and more pressure. Well, we'll see how it plays. What will it be this time next year? Will they ever get together? Maybe live in
next year we'll be asking if Rory's going to win the Masters.
The next big question, I'm predicting this. Liv will be into its 3rd year next year at this time. There's going to be defections.
I think so.
Somehow.
From Liv back to the PGA Tour.
Or attempts to. And legally, where does that fall? And it's like when you have a timeshare, now you hear all these radio commercials like, hey, we'll get you out of your timeshare. There's going to be a whole market for lawyers to work it so that guys, whoever it is, says, I've had enough of this, I want to go back to the PGA Tour.
Let's see if the Saudis have had enough
and see what the welcome is for those guys if it happens. We'll be talking about, I guarantee you, next year. There you go. Thanks, guys. We'll be back. More of Inside Golf in just a moment. Designed by Donald Ross, Lulu Country Club is one of the premier private golf courses in Montgomery County. This classic 18-hole course boasts a new state-of-the-art clubhouse with many amenities for members to enjoy. Members are invited to play in events, tournaments, and enjoy guest privileges. For more information, contact membership at lulucc.com.
The Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board is holding its first ever Freedom from Hunger Drive in the spring. We normally hold it in the fall and we'll still be doing that, but we want to help the soup kitchens and food pantries all across Montgomery County recover from exhausting their resources over the holidays and get ready for the summertime when kids won't be in school for free and reduced meals. No one should have to wake up with the burden of worrying if they'll have enough to eat that day. So help us fight hunger together at valleyforge.org/hunger. For the Tourism Board, I'm Rachel Riley.
The Golf Association of Philadelphia. Founded in 1897, GAP is the nation's oldest regional or state golf association. We serve amateur golf in Eastern PA, Southern New Jersey, and all of Delaware. GAP welcomes all golfers, junior or senior, male or female, public or private. Join the Golf Association of Philadelphia today. Our mission is always to preserve, protect, and promote the great game of golf. Before you tee it up, look us up. Visit gapgolf.org to find out more.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. Hey, before we close, Let's turn back the clock a little bit. Right before the Masters, our teed-off panel gave their individual predictions as to who was going to put on the green jacket. And we had a winner. Let's take a look at who it was. So give me a winner right down the line in 30 seconds. Come on. You must have somebody.
I'll say Roy.
Rory?
Rory.
Okay.
Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth. That would be his
You
second.
know a guy, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Sully.
I'm going to take John Rahm.
John Rahm.
Hard to argue with.
Okay. And I will go for, I'm going to pick Cam Smith.
All of these,
He's got game.
you know.
He's got game and he's got a little bit of this on his shoulder.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. So there you have it, Jim Sullivan, our Masters prognosticator. Good job, Sully, as always. All right, coming up next week, we're going to meet a couple of honorees from the Golf Association of Philadelphia. One is Michael Brown. Mike won the Philadelphia Amateur Championship. And the other, our good buddy Chip Lutz. Chip was inducted into the Gap Hall of Fame. Two very, very interesting and very good players in the Golf Association of Philadelphia. I'm Harry Donahue. We'll see you next week with Chip Lutz and Mike Brown here on Inside Golf. The 26th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. Your next golf getaway is in Valley Forge in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Visit valleyforge.org. By the First Tee Greater Philadelphia. The First Tee not only helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit firstteephiladelphia.org. By the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, a community of professionals enhancing the game of golf since 1925. Make sure you thank your golf course superintendent today. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, a digital publication and private business network. Read the current issue free at jerseymanmagazine.com. By the Haverford Trust Company. For life's must-haves, there's Haverford. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia PGA Section, the experts in the game and business of golf.